The first time I saw the sign, it was half-lit and buzzing, the red plastic letters flickering against a flat gray sky. Maple Rest Motel. I was 21, driving home from college for the weekend, somewhere between New Jersey and Pennsylvania. It was raining hard enough that the wipers barely kept up. I remember thinking how the rain on the windshield looked like static on an old TV. I'd planned to push through the last 2 hours to home, but the highway warnings were flashing flood ahead, and my phone's signal had died about 15 miles back. The motel looked old, paint peeling, a single car parked near the office, but it was shelter. The man at the desk didn't look up when I walked in, just kept staring at a little TV behind the counter that showed a security feed, grainy black and white, for corners of the property. His voice was flat when he said, "Cash only." I handed him 2 20s. He slid me a key attached to a heavy brass tag. Room 6. The hallway smelled faintly of damp carpet and cheap cleaning spray. The door creaked open into a room that looked frozen in time. Yellow lamp, floral curtains, an old rotary phone on the table. The rain against the window was the only sound. I should have slept. Instead, I sat on the edge of the bed scrolling through pictures on my phone, half out of boredom, half to remind myself the world outside this place still existed. The service bar stayed dead. At around midnight, the TV in the next room came on. Volume low, some old sitcom laugh track bleeding through the wall. I figured someone had just checked in. But then, through the gap under the connecting door, I saw a flicker of movement. Feet pacing, shadow passing back and forth. It went on for almost an hour. Then the pacing stopped, and the doorknob on my side rattled. Just once, gently, like someone testing if it was locked. I froze. The air felt heavier. I whispered, "Hello," thinking maybe the walls were thinner than I thought. No answer. I checked the knob from my side. Firm. Still locked. But when I leaned closer, I heard something that didn't make sense. Soft breathing, right on the other side. Slow, uneven, like someone trying not to make noise. I stepped back, heart pounding. The breathing stopped. The TV next door clicked off. Silence. I waited a full minute before I sat back on the bed. Tried to laugh it off. But as I set my phone on the nightstand, the screen lit up, camera app open, like someone had pressed it from the side button. I hadn't touched it. And right before the light dimmed again, the preview image showed me on the bed, taken from the direction of the bathroom doorway. The picture shouldn't have existed. I hadn't even gone near the bathroom since checking in. But there I was in the frame, shoulders tense, eyes on my phone. Exactly how I was sitting seconds before. My chest went tight, like I'd forgotten how to breathe. I stood up slowly and looked toward the bathroom. The door was half open, the light off, the mirror inside catching a sliver of the lamp's glow. I took one step forward. The floor creaked. That was when something inside the bathroom shifted, like the sound of fabric brushing against tile. I backed up. "Who's there?" My voice cracked halfway through. No answer. The silence after that was worse than any sound. I could hear the rain outside again, steady and hollow against the window. My hand found the door handle. I turned it just enough to check if it was unlocked, ready to bolt if I needed to. Then I heard it. A whisper. So soft I almost convinced myself I imagined it. "Don't leave yet." Every muscle in me went cold. I grabbed my bag and pulled the door open. The hallway was empty, dim, that smell of wet carpet stronger now. The office light at the far end flickered. When I looked back, the bathroom light in my room had turned on by itself. I didn't think. I just started walking fast, shoes squeaking against the floor. As I passed room 5, the one next door, I noticed the door was cracked open an inch. A TV inside glowed faintly, but the volume was muted now. For a second, I almost looked in. Then something inside the room moved, and the door started closing on its own, slow and quiet, until it clicked shut. I nearly ran the last few feet to the office. The desk clerk wasn't there. The chair was turned slightly away from the counter, still rolling like someone had just gotten up. Behind it, the little TV with the camera feeds buzzed softly. 3 of the screens were clear: parking lot, entrance, hallway. The 4th one, labeled Room 6, was nothing but static. My stomach dropped. I stepped closer. The static flickered once, then steadied into an image. My room. The lamp still on. The bathroom door wide open. And standing in the doorway was someone tall, their outline faint but unmistakably human. The figure turned its head, like it was looking straight into the camera. Then the feed cut to black. That's when I heard footsteps, wet shoes squeaking on tile. Behind me, I turned and saw the clerk coming out of the back office. His eyes were red, unfocused. He said, "You're not supposed to be here." Something's wrong with the cameras, I stammered. "There's someone in my room." He didn't even glance at the monitors, just tilted his head. "You rented room 6? I nodded. He exhaled through his nose, long and slow. "That room's been closed for months." I stared at him, waiting for the punchline. Closed for months? My key was real. The room existed. I'd just been inside it. He kept talking, voice flat. "Pipe burst last winter. Ceiling caved in. Insurance never covered it. No one's supposed to have a key." My hand was still gripping the brass tag. Heavy. Cold. I turned it over. The number stamped on it wasn't a 6. It was a 9, worn down and turned upside down. For a second, I didn't move. Just stared at the tag until my reflection blurred in the brass. "Room 9, I said quietly. "Then who's in 6? The clerk didn't answer. He was staring past me, toward the glass door that looked out to the parking lot. When I turned, my chest clenched. There was a man standing just at the edge of the light, rain dripping from his coat. His face was shadowed, but his posture was wrong. Tilted, unsteady, like he was trying to remember how to stand. The clerk whispered, "Don't open it." But the man didn't move closer. He just stood there for a long time, until the flicker of the sign buzzed out and the light went dark. When it came back on, he was gone. The clerk locked the door and backed away. "You need to leave," he muttered. "Now, use the side exit." He handed me a different key, smaller, plain, no tag. "That opens the gate. Don't stop for anything." I should have listened. But when I got outside, my car's headlights were still on, and through the rain, I saw a shape sitting in the driver's seat. My seat. The world narrowed down to that one image. Someone sitting perfectly still behind the fogged-up glass. I could make out only a silhouette, head turned slightly toward the motel, like it was waiting for me. I backed up, reached for my phone to call Benson again, then remembered he wasn't part of this story. The clerk's voice came from the doorway behind me. "Don't go near it." Lightning flashed again, and for that split second of brightness, I saw what was wrong with the figure in my car. The reflection didn't line up. The person's face was pressed too close to the glass, eyes wide open, mouth slack, pale like something that had been underwater too long. Then the lights of the car flickered off. When I looked again, the seat was empty. I left the car right there. Started running down the side road the clerk had pointed to, gravel slipping under my shoes. I didn't stop until I reached the highway. A truck driver pulled over after seeing me waving like a lunatic in the rain. I must have looked insane. I told him I'd broken down, that someone tried to get into my room. He just nodded, said that place had a history. He didn't elaborate. By the time I got home the next day, my phone had died. When I charged it, there was a single new photo in my gallery. It wasn't from that night. It was from the day after, time-stamped for 3:12 a.m., when I'd been miles away, asleep in my own bed. It showed the same motel room, curtains drawn, lamp on, and in the reflection of the mirror above the bed,